Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins is one of the most life-changing books I've ever read. David Goggins is not just the author of this amazing book, he's also a total badass with many accomplishments to his name. He didn't have an easy start in life, having to deal with an abusive father and extreme poverty and prejudice in rural America. The odds were definitely not in his favor, and at one point, Goggins was weighing an astounding 300 pounds, working as an overnight exterminator in Indianapolis. However, he found a way to turn all that around, and he managed to become a Navy SEAL and hold the world record in ultramarathons, triathlons, and ultra-triathlons, having completed more than 60 of them. As if that wasn't enough, he also set the Guinness World Record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours. Wondering how he accomplished all that? Well, in this video, I'll share the 8 most important lessons from his book, Can't Hurt Me. So let's begin. 1. The accountability mirror. David Goggins dreamt of joining the Air Force after having met an Air Force recruiter at his high school. However, he realized that this would require skills and education he didn't possess. But that didn't stop him. He took a look in the mirror and decided he needed to make a change in his life. So he invented the accountability mirror. Goggins grabbed some Post-it notes, and on each one he wrote down the things he needed to do to pass the test to join the Air Force. This way, each day when he stood in front of the mirror, he would be reminded of his mission. With this method, Goggins passed the test and was on his way to fulfill his dream to join the Air Force. 2. Always strive for improvement. Even though he passed the test, Goggins walked away from the military due to medical reasons. As time went on, he found himself weighing 300 pounds, working as an overnight exterminator. This was the point where Goggins realized he had to pick himself back up again and make a change. That's when he decided he wanted to join the Navy SEALs. To do so, he had to lose more than 100 pounds in less than 3 months. Taking on a very strict fitness regime, Goggins managed to cut down his weight and eventually succeeded in becoming a Navy SEAL. This teaches us to always be on the lookout for improvement and not fall in the trap of comfort and laziness. Get out there and pursue your goals. 3. The 40% rule. After he achieved his goal and became a Navy SEAL, David Goggins soon found himself craving another challenge. He wanted to push himself further and decided to take on extreme long-distance running, also known as ultra running. Goggins had never run further than 26 miles, but still managed to complete a 100-mile race. So, what was his secret? For most people, running 100 miles seems impossible, but Goggins decided the only thing that was stopping him was his mind. We often only use 40% of our potential. You are only operating at roughly 40% of your ability when your mind tells you that you are finished, terribly worn out, and unable to go any further. When you reach the 40% mark, you must find a hidden source of drive and motivation. Do not give up at this point, because in fact, you still have 60% of remaining potential. The only thing that is stopping you from tapping into that 60% is your mind. When you start pushing your way past the 40% that most of the rest of the world seems to be content with, you will unlock a higher level of potential and be able to achieve extraordinary results. So, fancy a 100-mile run, anyone? 4. Callousing your mind. In order to achieve great things like David Goggins, it's important to create a calloused mind. A calloused mind is resistant to hardship and setback. The first step to callousing your mind is to regularly step out of your comfort zone. This can easily be achieved by doing little things that make you uncomfortable, such as picking up the phone to make an appointment instead of endlessly delaying it, or taking a cold shower. Step by step, you should take on increasingly more uncomfortable things to expand your comfort zone. Callousing your mind also means that you should look at your setbacks in life from a different perspective. Those times might seem uncomfortable and difficult to you, but in reality, these hard times are often the moments we experience the most growth. As such, Goggins' difficult circumstances growing up, with having to deal with an abusive father, poverty, and racism, actually turned out to be the ultimate training ground for callousing his mind. The more difficult situations you face, the stronger you will become. 5. Uncommon amongst uncommon. Only 2% of the Navy SEALs are African American, and Goggins was one of them. He was also the only African American prolific ultra runner in the United States. He became the uncommon amongst uncommon. In other words, he had put himself in the top 1% of performers. It can be hard to believe in yourself and your future when the statistics don't seem to be in your favor and you have no one to look up to. So, how can you become uncommon amongst uncommon? Goggins found out that through hard work, determination, and having control over your mind, anything is possible. Maybe you're the first person in your family to go to college, or the first female at your school to be class president, or the first person from your small hometown leaving to explore the world. If you get specific about your goals and work hard to achieve them, you too can take a place amongst the top performers. 6. Embrace pain and failure. Life is not always going to be an easy ride. Pain, misery, humiliation, suffering, failure, and daily ups and downs are all part of life. To achieve greatness in life, you must be willing to face pain and failure head on. If you fight it, you'll only make things worse. Accept and become at ease with the discomfort. Make it a source of inspiration. The earlier you understand that life won't always go your way, the better. Being entitled is a mindset that depletes power. Decide what you want and be prepared to pay the price necessary to obtain it, rather than focusing on what you believe you deserve. Before Goggins broke the world record for the most pull-ups, he actually already had 2 failed attempts, with one of them being broadcasted on live television. He didn't let this deter him, though. It encouraged him to work even harder, to try again, and finally, he managed to break the record. Failure is only brought into our lives to teach us lessons and use these lessons to achieve even greater things in life. 7. Use the cookie jar. When Goggins was running the 100 miles races as an ultra runner, he would come to a point where the physical pain would be too much. But when that happened, he didn't give up. Instead, he visualized all of his past successes as cookies that he could bite into in these challenging times. With the help of these motivating cookies, he would be able to find the strength to keep pushing. You should look at the cookie jar just as your energy bank. Write down some of your triumphs and hurdles you've conquered to create your own cookie jar. So when you go after your goals and things get tough, you can just grab a cookie out of the jar to keep yourself motivated. 8. Taking souls. The third week of the training required to enter the Navy SEALs is commonly referred to as the Hell Week, due to the brutally difficult operational training in cold and wet conditions on fewer than 4 hours of sleep. When Goggins took part in this training, his philosophy of taking souls helped him to get through the grueling Hell Week. Taking souls means acknowledging your opponent and using your feelings about them as a way to fuel your motivation. When working toward your goals, it's easy to sabotage your success by doubting yourself. For example, you might feel intimidated by your opponents. Anyone who you think doubts your ability to succeed and makes you doubt yourself. This could be a boss, teacher, or even a coworker. But Goggins didn't let the shouting officer in Hell Week get to him. Instead, he viewed him as his opponent, and he reminded his team that the officers wanted to break them down and encourage them not to give them the satisfaction. He took the negative energy and used it to fuel himself and his team with motivation, which allowed them to perform better. This resulted in respect from the officer, which meant Goggins had taken his soul. Well, there you have it, guys. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins inspires you to get out there and make a difference in your life. It's real, it's raw, and it's motivational. Goggins' story shows how mastering your mind, hard work, and becoming friends with pain can help you achieve the unimaginable. I hope this has inspired you to make a positive change in your life. If you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next one.